Good evening, everyone. I am Cindy Leung, the co-op member of CBIM and the NC today. Welcome to HK BIMA Training Center, the fourth training session, which aims to help BIMA transitioning from BIM to openBIM. The today's topic is mastering knowledge and tools for openBIM. Some experience sharing from other countries applying openBIM tools in construction project will also be highlighted. Now let me introduce our speaker, Mr. Kevin Wong, the Regional Director of Civil Connect Limited. I will now pass the time to Kevin. Kevin, please.
Okay. Hi, hello everyone. This is Kevin from Civil Connect. I'm the director of the company. Nice to meet you all in virtual meetings. So today I'd like to share the mastering knowledge and the tool for openBIM. So this is the fourth series of the training from our alliance. So let's start. So we have a BIM training series. This is the fourth one. So today we are talking about this. And actually, if you are looking at the first and the second and the third series, we have some planning starting from the BIM 101 and then the global trend of openBIM in local context. And then the third one is the build life cycle by Dr. Jet. And today I'd like to talk about some tools that providing for all you guys as using for openBIM. And the next round will be as a summary, and then we will have four speaker, okay, talk about the openBIM together. So please make sure you join us on 24th of June. So it will be the next the week after too, and the 24th. So and also we have a new training. Very excited. So we have as an openBIM, we will have a BIM GIS integration series. So on the July 8th, there will BIM GIS integration for smart city development. We will talk about the principle. And there will be two case studies. It's on the mid of July and also in the mid of August. So keep in touch and focus on our email, which is sent out to you. So today I'd like to talk about the knowledge and the tools for openBIM. So after you know what is by openBIM 101 and also how it applies to the local context. So what should we use to as an openBIM? So I will talk about the openBIM software is and its advantage. I also like to introduce the BIM workflow with life cycle. As you know, today is only 1 hour, so I like to talk about something which is very commonly used in Hong Kong, so that more locally context for you guys. And I will talk about tips on how to choose the software tools for openBIM as well. And there is an example which adopt openBIM very successfully from Netherlands. So I'd like to highlight on this as well, so that you can know how to apply the tools into the project. And as well, there is a exciting part for there is a presentation from Spain, which is talk about the BIM server. It is based on the openBIM workflow by CYP SIP company. So that would be a pretty excited presentation. So I like to spend like 15 minutes from him. Actually, they record for us, so it's very good presentation to all the Hong Kong BIMers to know more about the openBIM using the tools. And then also there is one newcomers called Wiscon. This is a very powerful and fast IFV model checker and issue checkers developed in US. So I'd like to introduce to you as well. And finally, there's a gift, and there's a free trials from different software companies, which is commonly used and will also mentioned today. So see if they can help you. Of course, there are lots of tools, but these are the tools that commonly used, and also I think it's quite suitable for the local context. So I'm the director of the Building Smart Hong Kong chapter, or the Alliance Hong Kong BIM, and also the vice chairman of Hong Kong HKIBIM. And I'm also the CIC certified BIM manager, and I teach lots of courses in my part-time as a lecturer for Hong Kong U Space and VTC, CIC and Chinese University. So let's start with, so what is openBIM? Extend the benefit of BIM by improving the accessibility, usability, management, and sustainability of digital data. So this definition is by the Building Smart International. And this core openBIM is a collaboration process, and this is a when-done nature. So why I highlight this? Because we, in our future or the coming world in BIM, so we like to have a more freedom on the data exchange and management. So we like to have, like, if we have a shared model, then everyone can read, everyone can import, and everyone can collaborate. So it should be vendor neutral. And also the openBIM process should be defined as a shareable project information that support the seamless collaboration. So that means, so everyone wants to get the data so they can use it and for further collaboration and further usage for their project. So openBIM ensure that interoperability is the key to digital transformation. It's open, it should be open, right? Open and neutral standard, as we mentioned. It should be reliable data exchange. So some standard has been set out in the Building Smart International. So everyone use the same set of the data format. And it should be collaborate. Collaboration workflows should not be limited by proprietary process or data formats. So that means it won't depend on particular software. It should be like everyone can access and everyone can collaborate. Another thing is the flexibility. So once we choose of the technology, create more value to all stakeholders. Today, we are not only talk about the IFC or BCF exchange, we also talk about how you, based on the IFC models, you can add more plugin or add more add in using the API so that there will be more flexibility to have more opportunity based on the BIM, openBIM. So finally, is a sustainability. So it safeguards a long-term interoperable data standard. So this is what Building Smart is doing. So why we need an openBIM at this advantage? So it's very important is, first of all, we need to know what is openBIM in our definition. So very simple, very quick one. So as I said, so if we want to send out a Word document to other people, so you usually save as a PDF and then send out to the other parties, right? So the reason is because the native file are proprietary or closed or format. PDF is an open standard, so this is a more lighter file, but still have lots of functionality. So PDF workflow is comparable to the openBIM. So that means the openBIM is the PDF format, so everyone can read and can use it. So for example, Autodesk Revit, you have a Revit native format file you like to share. So you want to share, if you share the native format to the other party, so the other party might make change to the model without our knowledge, so which is not good, right? But if instead of sending the native format, you export to IFC, so open exchanging format like IFC, the model data is freely viewable, measurable, and usable. So creating model data in a native format is called native BIM. We can call it native BIM. But if we exchange this model data with the open standard, such as IFC, then we are in the openBIM. Okay. So let's take an example. So IFC Viewer has a very good advantage because it's free and this is fast. So you can see, we'll take a look. So what it's showing is all the property could be retained in the IFC model. So once you export to IFC, so the IFC viewer can read all the attributes and also the parameters. And also you can see that if you can change the view style in the viewer. The most important is it's free, so everyone can see the model and everyone can use the model. Okay. All right, so native BIM is the basis for openBIM. So you can really start an openBIM process by creating a model in a native format, right? So for example, you start a MEP model in Revit, a structural model in Tekton, an architectural model in ArchiCAD, and civil model in BIM. So and then everyone can export the model to IFC. Then you don't need to create model in IFC. Make sure that you know that you don't create model in IFC, but you export them to IFC. All right. So in the coming introduction of the different tools, so the principle is using this this principle. So at any stage in native BIM, you can exchange it with openBIM standard and thereby start an openBIM workflow. So the term closed BIM means openBIM standard are intentionally excluded. For example, where file execution is exclusively in a native format. But what is meant by openBIM? openBIM with all the software means, so you see, under the Building Smart umbrella, there's a lot of different software provider which is able to exchange the format using IFC format already. So for example, very big brand, the Bentley or Autodesk or Tekla or ArchiCAD, or even we will introduce like the SciP. So all of this software is already compiled with the international standard of openBIM. All right. So let's check it out. So introduction of common BIM software supporting the workflow. Okay. So let's check out a few big guys in the market. So for example, the graphics software is very famous for the architect. So openBIM is a universal in their definition. So it's a universal approach to collaborative design, realization, and operation of building based on open standard and workflow. So they said they have already supported. So openBIM is an initiative of several leading software vendors using the openBIM smart data model. So let's check it out. So they have they support a transparent open workflow. So they create a common language for widely referenced process. So the tools you use should be meeting this standard. All right. And this provide enduring project data. So make sure once you export the data, and then when you exchange the data, so the data format is still keep the same. So next time when you import that, it still have the same data, right? So throughout the access life cycle, so avoiding the multiple input of the same data. And also the smart and large platform software provider or vendors can participate. So not only big guy, but the small guy can also participate in the ecosystem. So finally, openBIM energize the online product supply side. So because of this, not only the offline model, but also put it on the common data environment, and also the downstream application, for example, the fabrication. Okay, so it opened up lots of opportunity. So take an example. For example,
let's select the embedded library option.
We import the IFC.
Here's the result of the IFC import. The structural design elements are visible in the architectural context, and the appropriate work environment and attributes are also set. All layers and layer combinations have also been created and set. The architect can get to work immediately, and there's no need for any additional adjustments. IFC import and export translators can be edited, fine-tuned, and managed by architects. These translators are now stored in ArchiCAD template files. This enables users to exchange translators between projects and enjoy all the additional benefits of template files when importing an IFC file.
Okay, good. So that means, so when you import the data, it will keep in the model, and also it can translate it back to the as a native format. So this is, I just want to show you, but will not play all.
This video demonstrates how to find work both ways, but
So
now for easier
management,
management, they are clearly separated and organized into two groups: translators for import and translators for export. Translators for import can be used for opening, merging, or hot linking IFC files. Export translators can be used to convert ArchiCAD building models to IFC databases. The predefined IFC translators can be used very well without any modification for typical collaboration scenarios. No additional knowledge is needed, so all we need to know is the name of the application used by the engineers. In the default list, you can find dedicated translators for a handful of common engineering applications. For instance, if the engineers use Tekla structures for structural design, it's a good idea to select the corresponding translator when sharing design information with them. We can also create new translators or delete those that are no longer necessary.
So let's stop a while here. So the most important part for this is when you import or export the data from one software to another, this should be have one common standard between different software. So the most important is it will make your life more easier. Some people will say that, okay, IFC is more complex, but in fact, their intention is make the life more easier by make sure everyone comply with the same standard. And then everyone, when you use the data or when you use the model, then you don't need to learn from start. You just use the common standard. So when more people adopt the openBIM approach, so that will be much faster and more efficiency. So this is for ArchiCAD. Another tool which is very common in Hong Kong is also the Tekla structure. So it includes the Trimble Connect as a common data environment. In their software, they promote openBIM approach to BIM as well. So there's an openBIM benefit in practice. So currently using IFC as well. Okay. So take a look on how the IFC import to the Tekla structure.
Browse to the new or the next version of this IFC file. And then what that will do is it will come in and it will colorize my model and it'll show me all the things that have been changed, the things that have been deleted, and the things that have been newly added. So I can view those based on the colors in the model and then with the corresponding colors here in the changes list. And if I just click on these lines here, it will then just zoom me into that area and that location within the model so that I can view them and look at them individually if needed. I can also come in here and as I highlight these, I can view over here in the property details the changes specific to that piece. So what specifically has changed. So if I click on this, I could see what the profile was, for example, and what the new profile is. If I uncheck this where it says show only changes, then I can view all of the metadata associated in the IFC file to that piece, or I can just filter out just the changes. If I zoom this model out, I can come over and use these filters as well. So if I just want to see the things that are changed, inserted, or deleted, I can just choose those options, update my view, and then that.
So you see, because we have the same set of IFC data, so different software, once they import the IFC, they can add some more function based on the IFC model. For example, Tekla structure can have the change management based on the IFC model. So you can see the changes models, the deleted elements or the new elements that in version 1 and version 2. So because of this, it is more possible. So everyone, once they have IFC file, so the native software can use it very easily.
And then I'll just.
So Tekla structure also working with different partners. So for example, because it's an open-BIM approach, so they give the industry freedom to choose the best project parties to work with, regardless of the software they use. So actually, it's less complex, more simple, and more flexibility, right? So take a look on this. So because of they can count on the IFC objects. When they have the IFC object, they can do some quality taking off. Take a look.
This video is going to show how you can use an IFC in Tekla structures to develop a quantity takeoff report. So to import, we'll go to Add Model in the Reference Models list and browse for that IFC file. Once we load that file up, we can assign it to a group.
So they assign the
If you have
IFC model to different
group
groups.
them by the type of reference model they are, such as an architectural model. Either locate it by model origin or use a project base point. Once we position it how we want, we can click on Add Model and it'll insert that IFC into our Tekla model space.
So then they can use the
Once we
model.
plug that in, we can select on the objects and inquire in on them and see the information that was transferred over with that IFC. You can see in my Inquire Object report, there's several properties available. We can use this information in reports and managing our model. To go to the Tekla warehouse, you can download the
And because of the flexibility, they can work with other software. You see, actually, they said that Tekla structure also work with Revit very well. So they can like have a built-in plugin and then work with Autodesk product.
You can insert this into your model if you have Tekla open, or just download the files.
And then how they show you how to do the quantity taking off within the within the model using IFC. So the extracted. So maybe I skip a little bit here. Then you can yep.
So once you've imported those
It's
into the
important.
organizer, it'll make a category list to automatically bring in the IFC information sent over from Revit. So I can easily locate my floors, my structural columns, my structural foundations, my structural framing. So if I need to make changes to those objects, or if I want to develop a report, it's quite easy to do that. So once we select the information, we'll select the report template, which contains the column information. We can combine identical rows to get a total count of everything. You can see that column on the left side. Now we can group objects based on a property in this template.
So the IFC model is usable. So once you have all the data
See how
from other
those are all
software,
grouped together.
so they can read it and do the quality taking off. So it's very convenient. And also you can
We
see
colorize our model.
you start
based
to
on the group,
colorize
so
your
we have a
model
good
based on the
visual.
group.
So we can clearly identify where the different parts of our model are located and what's inside of our report. We can also organize the IFC information based on its physical location. And we can do this quite easily with an IFC project.
Check it out.
So we'll create a new IFC project, we'll select our model, and once we import this in, it's automatically going to break it down by its location. So you can see it's broken it down into all the different levels that are defined in that IFC.
Okay.
So now we could report objects based on their physical location.
So it's very convenient once the data
Now
is
that
breaking down. And also it could export to Excel. So you can see how IFC is convenient. So when you start to explore it, you will find lots of advantage using IFC.
information.
So they also, because of the IFC format, they can export to other software on the analysis and design, okay, and also for the connection design as well, and also the fabrication. So they have different. So for example, the steel industry, the precast industry, and also rebar industry. The thing is that when they export the format to an open format, so every different company can read the same format and then they can do the fabrication things. And also the production machine for the steel connections, they export to CNC machine right from the software, export to common data format. And also the steel welding robots, light metal framing machine, and also precast concrete machinery. Of course, the project management, architecture as well, and social collaboration. And also, they are quite interesting application using the side scanning using the openBIM IFC mixed reality. Using the Trimble XR10 for the HoloLens too. Take a look on how you use the data.
Hi, I'm Evie, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to use our Street View or Immersive mode. Here in front of me, I have a small version or bird's eye view of our demonstration model. First, I'm going to open up my radial menu and select Navigate and Settings to make sure that my user height is set correctly. You can use these plus and minus options, but 5 feet is my height. So now we'll go back to the menu and select Navigate and then Street View. So to access Street View, we want to air tap on the location that we want to jump to in the model. So I want to jump to over here in front of the sink. And now you can see the model is populated around me and I am fully immersed in the model. To move around in these immersive models, you can walk around and they'll stay in the same place. Or you can air tap on another location and jump to that location in the model. Now you can see I'm in the new location. I can even stand up here on the countertop if I'd like. And here we are. It gives you the opportunity to have a lot of different perspectives and explore the model.
So basically,
To the floor.
they use the IFC based on IFC on the Trimble Connect, and then people can make use of all the data.
Alrighty. Now
Put it
to
in the
exit
mixed
immersive
reality.
mode, we'll pull up our radial menu, select Navigate and Bird's Eye, and you can see the model has returned exactly to its initial location. That concludes my demo in immersive mode. Thank you so much for
It's really interesting toy for the construction site,
watching.
right? So Autodesk. So they are very they are they use IFC in the operability since 1996, so they are very early pioneer. So take a look on how Autodesk helped on the openBIM industry.
The story begins in 1982 when Autodesk is founded. That same year, the company introduces AutoCAD, the first software of its kind to run on non-proprietary hardware, the PC, and in doing so, facilitates the use of CAD in the building and other AEC industries. Year after year, Autodesk has continued to develop solutions that allow interoperability. In 1988, Autodesk develops DXF, an open file format, and makes it accessible to everyone. DXF is an early industry standard for CAD data exchange. In 1996, Autodesk is a founding member of the International Alliance for Interoperability, which became Building Smart International in 2008. Building Smart International defines openBIM as a collaborative approach based on open standards and workflows, such as IFC. In 2002, Autodesk acquires Revit and begins developing the Building Smart's certified IFC data exchange format into Revit. 2010, Autodesk adds the STL export in Revit to allow 3D printing capabilities, and the STL plugin is brought to the open source community. 2011, the IFC Import-Export Toolkit for Revit is made available to the open source community. Autodesk is the only one with this approach. In 2013, the IFC standard is integrated into the cloud solutions such as A360 and BIM 360. 2014, IFC4 is released and is integrated into Revit right away. 2016, Autodesk implements IFC in its product design solution, Inventor, enabling building product manufacturers to take part in the BIM process. Today, Autodesk has 14 total software offerings and collaborative platforms that support IFC. This provides project teams with a broad range of multidiscipline data sharing through openBIM procedures. In 30 years of innovation and sharing, Autodesk continues to create solutions that enable open collaboration between professionals.
Okay, I think this history everyone just may not know when even you are using Autodesk every day, right? So it's good to know. So they have already they can also import the IFC to Autodesk.
And let's check it out what we will get. And as you can see, here is our IFC. So let's check it out. I will go to the 3D view. Just a few seconds, because it's not original model actually right now. And as you can see, this is IFC. I will unswitch off my link view. And you can see I can select that. I can check what is that. And you can see this is roof. This is a generic model. But why it's a generic model? Your first question, because this is floor. And let's check it out. Our wall is wall. And this looks like okay, but let's bind this model. Let's bind this link. We want attach scales and we want to grid and levels. And just let's see what we will get. So here we are, and here is our model. Let's select this model and let's ungroup it. Why ungroup it? Because now it's like one group.
Very good reference, right? So what I wanted to try is why I show all of you the capability, because when you're using one native software, don't forget it has more powerful, and it could interact with other software very easily, just using IFC or other like BCF format, which I'm going to introduce to you. So the multiple open file format, make sure you know this. So after you make use of the IFC open format, the openBIM data format, include the COBie as well, and also this kind of land XML, etc. They also have some API for other developer to using the openBIM approach to work together. Not sure if you know, Autodesk and Trimble has signed an agreement to increase the interoperability during 2016. So actually, if you are using Autodesk, you can also use Tekla as well, no problem. Okay. So tips on choosing the software tools for the openBIM. So actually, first of all, you should look at whether the software will support IFC, the most updated version, for example, 4.0. The second is able to collaborate with openBIM formats such as the IFC and the BCF, which is very common format. is able to read, import, and export native file into IFC data. So make sure you know that. So what is meant by BCF? I think Dr. Jet already mentioned about the detail yesterday, last time. So I just mentioned just a little bit. It should be different software can work collaborative together. So the BIM collaborative format, or BCF, one of the most simple and used standard in the Building Smart toolkits. So it exists to track issues. So that means recently the government is issued the DWSS, the circular, which is about the track issues. So you can make sure make use of this. So BCF is like the WhatsApp of BIM. So it allows you to send models, markup, crash report, and the general comments between all project members. So whenever you have the supporting the BCF format, once you have the issues, you can just send out to another common data environment. So the common data environment between each of them can be communicated using the BCF. So it's like a WhatsApp as well. So each BCF issue registered with a unique ID. So make it easier to track how many issues and who is responsible for the what issue to see when the issues are resolved. Okay. So you also get an analytic on how the issues are generated. And the BCF is communicate between the IFC tools and the native model software. So between the tools and also between the native software, if you are supporting the BCF, then your world is open up a lot. Okay. So take an example by Architects. So Architects are also supporting
Delivering BIM
BCF.
helps save time and money on a project. But when managing design coordination with inefficient PDFs or spreadsheets, these savings can be lost. 3D model authors have to manually locate design issues using only descriptions or screenshots. The process is slow, confusing, and error-prone. But there is a better way, using openBIM, a vendor-neutral approach to collaborative design, construction, and operation. The BIM collaboration format, or BCF, is the openBIM format for design issues. Information can be exchanged and used with any BIM tool, making resolution faster and more accurate. Let's take a look. The BIM coordinator can federate models in an analysis tool like Solibri Model Checker and create an issue report. These issues can be made available in a common data environment like Aconex. All the data has come across from Solibri Model Checker and can now be used by other team members. The BIM coordinator can select those issues relevant to the mechanical engineer and assign them for resolution. The mechanical engineer opens the issues in an authoring tool like DDS CAD. Again, the data has come across from Solibri Model Checker and Aconex, including a viewpoint link that takes the engineer straight to the issue in the 3D design. He fixes this issue, adds a comment, and marks it as fixed to indicate resolution. Using tools like BIMit, he can continue to monitor issue progress over time to keep the project on track. Job done, and it's only lunchtime. OpenBIM formats like BCF are already being used across the industry today. Getting started is easy. To find out how, go to buildingsmart.org.
Okay, so no more now, right? Very good. So there's a successful example from Netherlands. So let's check it out. So this is project Particular. I don't know how to pronounce it. This is in Amsterdam. So the objective is they want to use purely openBIM approach. Make sure, so what software they use? Allpan, ArchiCAD, BIM Collab, so Technical Structure, Model Checker, Vector, everything. Okay. So this Building Smart tool they use the IFC because it's an old project. They also use PCF a lot. So this model is quite pretty, to be honest. So take a look on the right side, not only the video. Okay. So they inspire design collaboration. Okay, enough. Another one is the highlights. So in fact, there are 85 project participating worldwide, and 70% of countries, 100% still does offset. So there are 3,000 versions of IFC model for this project and 6,000 BCF issue to be managed. So it's a very big openBIM project, lots of different participants. Because of the openBIM nature, so that's why they can have so many participants worldwide join together without any barriers. Okay. So you see, these all are prefabricated off-site. So once they prefabricate, so they will moving on to the site and build the linkage. And finally, it will build up like this. Okay. So you can check it out. So the the most important is the client is mandatory IFC, mandating IFC. So we hope in the future in Hong Kong government there will be this clauses soon to mandate the IFC usage. Okay, because you will see the benefit. Because managing the BIM agreement as well. So we have a new BIM agreement, BIM specification in Hong Kong right now. So you can take a reference using BIM approach, openBIM approach. And also they use it to concurrent engineering during the initial design phase because of the time limits. So what they export to IFC and checked by the contractor every 2 weeks and results share and discuss. So when they do the design, they share because of the IFC advantage, they shared across to everybody to take a look during the design phase so that the contractor can give more input. So the model coordination, of course, using the BCF, and then they need to available before the production. So they bring all the building information to be available before the production. No cutting and drilling on site with occur. So they use the issue management workflow as well. So all models were combined in one coordinated file. So because of the openBIM format, whatever software you use, you can also collaborate into one environment, one single environment. So they make use of the BCF file. And also the prefabricated assembly. So 75% of all concrete from the ground floor to roof was produced off-site. So you can see it's quite a lot of off-site things. And also 100% steel structure produced off-site. So if you want everything produced off-site, you should have a very accurate model, right? And also the data should be shared across everybody. This is what the openBIM can do. And also nothing was well at the construction site, which is really, really good. The result, project proved a highly complex model design and also effective management strategy using all team benefit from the having access to the right data. So more information, you can take a look on the YouTube. So now there is a special section. So the presentation of the openBIM BIM server. So actually, if you have an IFC model, you can build more plugin or build value-added plugin into the openBIM IFC model, so that everyone, when they obtain the model, they can just adding value into it. So through the open technologies, Bottom create a collaborative workflow for development, architectural, engineering, and construction project in an open and coordinated way. So this manufacturer integrate the manufacturer's product into the BIM project. For example, Toshiba, Panasonic, or all kinds of different MEP equipment. So because of the openBIM nature, so all of these manufacturers can create their own object and then put it inside as a collaboration modeling environment. So it will use that to input 3D environment based on the calculation criteria, international standard, and interaction control. So in the soon video, the presenter will show you how this to be work together using the openBIM approach. And also because of this, so you based on this openBIM CDE, openBIM model, so you can do more BIM consulting to assess the need of each company. It's an openBIM integration of project of each manufacturer. So 1,000 or 100,000 of manufacturers can now open their put their model into one single openBIM format, but not only like the family or attribute. So they can do this BIM object using the openBIM approach. And the 3D modeling of the element is GLFTF, which is similar to the IFC format, so integrate into the BIM project. So BIM server.center is actually the open source CDE. So it supports service is free for basic and open format. So the integration, so it's a system to be compatible with other modeling software. The project and deal without the need for native format, and also it should calculate, do some more calculation based on the data from the IFC. And it's also do quite a lot of different compatibility. So the open competitive nature of IFC allow the information to exchange to other platform. And also it could benefit from the fluent exchange of information between the disciplines. Instead of I just show you the PowerPoint, maybe I just show you the video right away. So there's a more calculation, 3D modeling, and also integration in the BIM model because of the time limit. So maybe I just jump into the BIM Server Center. This is actually a free and open source. So at the end of this presentation, I will show you the link how to download and try out yourself. And then you can also use as a project without paying. But actually, if you want to do more, there is a pay service from them so that you can choose whatever you want. It's more flexibility and more value added to your project. Okay, let's take a look.
Okay. Well, so let's start. I'm gonna start with a short presentation of our company, and then I will go to the practical part. I just have 20 minutes, so I'm gonna run a little and try to share as much as possible. Well, CIPE is a software company. We have been developing software for architecture, engineering, and construction during more than 36 years. And in all this time, we have developed more than 150 applications, technical applications. We are 170 professionals, and then we have more than 20 resellers all over the world. And currently, we have more than 100,000 users in more than 60 countries. So some numbers in order to give you an idea of who we are. Okay, what do we do or where we are? We are located in Spain, and as I said before, but our main market is focused on the south of Europe, Latin America, and Africa. So Spanish, French, and Portuguese-speaking countries. Anyway, we are trying to open new markets right now, and we are opening like new possibilities in North America and Asia. Or companies like technological institutions and so on. And also we are quite active developing research projects, working with new technologies like 3D printers, BIM, and so on. Well, final introduction. We have been working in a closed environment for more than 20 years with some specific solutions which have perfect communication between them, but to move to another kind of strategy in the middle as a core. So I would like to share this, what does it mean? No? At the end, what we are gonna see, okay, so we have some solutions exporting information to BIM server, and then this information arrives to the different solutions we have in BIM server. Like this, we can well make this kind of interactions, like bidirectional interaction between all the different applications we have. The workflow will be something like this. I will try to explain it later, but shortly, we have a kind of geometrical model, architectural model made by any kind of software like Revit, ArchiCAD, Allplan. We have our own solution, and from this we can export or upload to BIM server an IFC with information. Then, as BIM server is connected with more than 130 applications, we can import this data in order to solve the different areas like energy analysis, acoustics, HVAC, plumbing, fire, whatever. As an output of these solutions, we can export an IFC again with extra data, like some other open formats like GLTF, PDF, etc. This information is located in the cloud, in BIM server, but also it's possible to import it directly in the architectural model. The good point of this workflow is that if we modify something here, this modification will arrive directly in all the different applications because we are working with the Git references. So we don't have to start again. The same if we modify something in the electricity installation, the lighting installation, we will receive this data, always working with open formats. So let me explain a little about this platform. So here, if we go to BIM Server Doc Center, we can have a look to the platform. In 2-3 years, I don't remember, we got more than 50,000 users and more than 120,000 BIM projects, which is quite a lot. If I go inside, I'm gonna log in. We can visualize like the interface, and in the left side, we can identify the different services. I will share with you 3 of them. So first of all, we have a huge store of openBIM applications. Our idea is giving visibility to the different applications and promoting the interoperability of data by sharing data, open data between the different tools. Here we can find different types of solutions, of manufacturers, of free solutions, some other focus on the structures, bill of quantities, electricity, HVAC, plumbing, thermal, a lot of them. I will invite you to have a look to some of them. So later we can go to this other part, recommended projects, because I think it's really interesting because we are trying to research about the social part of BIM. In this case, the platform, depending on the projects I'm working on, knows that I have quite experience in structural analysis, for instance, because I have uploaded, 20 IFCs with entities like column, slabs, whatever. The platform knows that there are some people looking for collaborators with my profile. So it's offering me some job opportunities. And this is quite interesting. And it works for the different areas, energy, analysis of building services, etc. So in that case, I can contact the owner and say, okay, I'm Pablo Gilaver, I'm working in Spain, so we can collaborate. I can offer you an calculation. This is something quite interesting because there is nothing like this in the world. And the last and maybe the most important service is about managing BIM projects in a collaborative way. So here we can visualize, or I can visualize, the different projects I have. Most of them focus on buildings, but there are some other about infrastructures and so on. And if I go inside of one of them, I don't know, for instance, Bauhaus, which is quite popular, I can see a kind of dashboard. So we are now at the project level. I will put it like this. And here we can find a lot of information, the latest changes, the files we have in the project. In this case, we have 19 IFC files, 14 PDFs, 13 GLTFs, all of them open formats. And I have the possibility of, checking or the visualization I want to get, depending on the different layers of the files generated by the different solutions. So I want to see the structure, I can activate the structure. I want to see the wireless network, lighting analysis, and so on. So I can modify the visualization in this kind of viewer. Well, there are many viewers, so I don't want to go deeply. Something quite interesting is that here we have some different options. One that could be interested is about alerts. So here we have some alerts generated, some of them automatically by the different applications, some of them manually, in order to communicate some modifications we have to do. In that case, we have to move this table, or we have to modify the size of this stair of this wall. So this communication is working by BCF with some extra data we have added. If we go to the files, here we can identify all the files included in the project. So if we visualize it like this, we can check the name, who is the owner, and the size and the last change. Like this, we can have some, like a small view. If I press in the lighting analysis IFC, I can visualize the information of this IFC, but also we are adding some extra data like, I don't know, the calculation annex as an URL connected to the IFC. Here we can see the information, or for instance, we can see the GLTF with the graphical information of the results of the lighting simulation and so on. In that case, I can visualize this data, and I can even come here and say, I don't want to see the, I don't know, emergency lighting, or I don't want to see the illuminance normal lighting results. So I can check that. The same for the rest. And then work team, you know, we can manage different roles, modification history, and so on. Like this, we can solve like many different areas. Here we can see health and safety solutions, fire analysis, furniture in order to develop architectural solutions, electricity, I don't know, HVAC systems, and so on. If I go here, we can see also the structures of the foundation, the gas installation, etc. So we have many, many solutions to solve that. In that case, this is I think is some kind of swimming pools made with ArchiCAD. And like this, we can visualize the architectural model, but also the structures made by our solutions. And if I go here, I can put in transparent the structure elements and see the simulation model of the structural analysis. And I can even display a video in order to visualize the real behavior of the building depending on the conditions I decided in my structural solutions. Here also we can see like some building services, some plumbing, waste management building services, and so on. Well, it could be a global presentation of the platform, and now I would like to share with you some specific data information. In our case, we have developed also a plugin in order to make a connection with the most important, maybe design solutions like Revit. So here we have the possibility of exporting to BIM server and importing data from BIM server. So we can visualize the different IFCs inside and check the real data totally updated. An example could be, okay, I'm gonna export it and I want to check, I don't know, the social distancing for checking the new measures about openBIM, the COVID conditions. In our case, we have developed this solution, and here I can manage, let me do it like this. I can manage, okay, where are the workers and which are the volume, the social distancing we have to save between them. I can make a calculation and check if everything is right or not. So I can identify that we have to take in consideration this part and include some kind of measures like separators or whatever. This is something we are doing for all the different areas. In that case, it's just about checking volumes, but now we are working with computational fluid dynamics in order to take into consideration the air conditioning, flow, and so on. So we can work in 2D or 3D and even become to rotate about that. As you can see in this part, all the different tools have the possibility to update the data, to export the data, to share it with the others. So we are gonna share just open data, open formats. We are not sharing our know-how. We are sharing the results of our know-how. I can update, for instance, in that case, the software is telling me that the furniture and layout respecting preventive measures have been removed. So it can modify something in my calculation. So I can update it, no problem at all. Like this, we can visualize many different solutions, like, I don't know, this case focus on the structures part. So I can modify the rebar and say, okay, I want to modify these bars and check again if it accomplishes with the different standards. Even here, I can generate some kind of plans and so on. So we can get like more specific calculations. For energy analysis, the same. Here we have software, free software for calculation thermal loads, and we can even make a calculation in Asia, Hong Kong, and here we have some stations named stations. So if I choose this one, I can get the exactly temperature and humidity information in order to make the calculation in Hong Kong. And here we can even visualize a lot of data to optimize the definition we have done, even by every different wall, every different MO.
Okay. I think you can see quite a lot of different applications based on the IFC server that they present. I think it's very good to explore to everybody now to the potential of using IFC as a base for the communication. So there's lots of things to collaborate and to explore. So there is another software which is called the Visicon. It's a very powerful and fast IFC model checker and issue tracking. So the data-centric BIM model review and tracking solution. So it's also based on IFC and also the Revit. For structural engineer, you can see it's based on ETABS and Adapt model as well. So you can use it as a
Visicon is the smarter model review and checking solution for Revit, IFC, ETABS, and Adapt BIM models. Visicon makes it possible for project teams to work smarter by giving everyone the same access to model data, not just a limited number of model experts. A collection of smart model review and checking tools, Visicon provides easy solutions for quickly understanding and analyzing models, whether to simply view and explore project models, mark up and take accurate measurements, check for changes, carry out quality control, or extract detailed quantities. Visicon helps get the job done. Gain faster and deeper insights into models by exposing and visualizing any component parameter. Our Smart BIM toolbox works on any 3D model in the same simple way using one interface. Learn it once and master reviewing and checking all model types. Work with individual or combine and merge model types. Saved as Visicon VXF files, models become light and super fast to access. Easy to access models are more likely to be shared and used among project members, improving the dissemination and use of critical project information. View and explore all project models the same simple way. Whether all you need is fast and easy model navigation, the ability to walk through models, cut arbitrary sections, auto-colorize to highlight special characteristics, easily access and investigate component properties, or create custom views, Visicon is the right solution. Quickly find what you're looking for and efficiently communicate your ideas using 2D and 3D markups. Take accurate measurements using intuitive snapping options and disseminate your work using PDF or XLS reports. Visicon is packed with smart tools to help check and quality control models, configure validation rules to colorize any component property and pinpoint modeling inconsistencies, run clash and clearance checks to develop better coordinated project models, apply variance operations to compare models and highlight what's changed, no matter how nuanced, report, manage, and resolve items using issues. Visicon is all about the underlying model data. We make it easy to access and use the data to make faster, more informed project decisions. Model data is already organized by component type, material, Revit family, discipline, and more. Component data is not buried deep in a selection tree, but freely accessible with a click of a button. Running detailed quantity reports grouped by any category is fast and simple. Import and visualize any external data. Take advantage of our flexible filters to interrogate models and find what you're looking for. Visicon comes in 2 editions, a free viewer and professional license. Download your copy of Visicon's free viewer at visicon.com. Go to.
Okay, so why I choosing this to tell you, because this is first of all, you can use the free viewer as a very fast model checker. And also you can just play around with your models and with all the checking. So the data-centric BIM model review and checking solution for this. I'm not going to show the video, but you can take a look. It's also have the clash detection, 3D Boolean difference.
This video describes.
So this viewer, Visicon, is very professional in digging the data. So once you open the data, you can find a very deep penetration on the IFC model and also in the other native software, which is export from their plugin. So you can use it as a quantity taking off as well because it's very deep data taking. And also you can use it quite a lot. So go to have a look and download your free trial. So finally, because of finish up, I give you some good stuff. So the free IFC tool and free trials. So for example, you go to Graphisoft, you can have the free BIMX to build the model and also from the IFC model. And also the Tekla Trimble Connect, you can have a free Trimble Connect. It will create one single project for use, up to 5 project members and 10 gig of storage. Join up to 5 projects. And also you can do the BIM coordination, clash detection, and also the tab management tool, which is very good for your start as a small project. So go to get a free license for the activation. And of course, BIM 360, I think you guys should know quite good, but it's a trial sign up. So there is a COVID-19 free until 30th of June. So go to take a look and download your free trial. And Visicon, this is a Visicon tool for openBIM. So it's available at free introduction version. Go to take a look. It's a very fast tool in the market. So finally, for SciPit, as you see, there's an IFC builder, so openBIM add-in for Revit. So you can also have the BIM server. So go to bimserver.com and take a look on the BIM server. Okay, so thank you so much for today. So I hope that would be help you to have some more idea on what tools and how to choose the best tool for your project. So those are big guys and some are small guys and new guys to you. So our PDF will distribute to you guys so you can have a look later. So any question? Any question? For your information, there's a CPD certificate open in the link. So go to have the link to get your CPD, register for the CPD.
Hello. Can hear? Hello.
Yes, can hear. MC, please.
Okay. There's an audio fit problem. Sorry about that. So, what's the question? I can't hear. Sorry. Hello.
There's a question in the Q&A. You can say.
Maybe I can help you with the question from the Q&A section. Once I asked that once I export a model from Revit format to IFC format, can I still generate the drawings open with other software?
Oh, I see. For this one, because the function from Revit to create a drawing inside Revit is actually a native function inside Revit. So Revit actually has the model come with their views and drawings in sheets. If you want to have an openBIM platform to read the Revit drawings, then you have to export the drawing into PDF file first before you put it into the common data format in openBIM. Because of the openBIM is read to IFC as well as the PDF. So make sure you create the drawing from Revit into PDF first, and then you export to other parties. They can put together into one single common data environment in the openBIM format, just like the SciPit. And also they can handle the versioning. So make sure you use this way or this method to handle your drawings. So keep in mind to make it into PDF. Okay. Any more questions?
There's another one and asking that any successful case using openBIM in Hong Kong. And I also told him that, I don't know her, him or she, I don't know yet, but I will also capture this question to answer to our next class, because this is a panel discussion. So it is another one we will ask later on. So Kevin, what is your point on this question?
Local. I think there's some. If you are asking me whether there's a whole project using the openBIM, I don't think there's one single project fully just like the Netherlands one. I don't think so. But some of the openBIM approach or the workflow has been adopted in Hong Kong. There is, if you remember, there's the second training which talk about the footbridge link in West Kowloon, and that is actually using some of the openBIM, collaboration and IFC, using IFC to translate the data to different parties, especially like the Tekla, IFC to the fabricator. So these are the things that they are using it quite well. And also there are some facility management, just like there's a developer in Hong Kong using a Kobe, different software, and then finally they export to us Kobe, and then match with the BMS FM system. So this is kind of example they start using, and they realize the benefits. So I think there will be more and more to come, and we are very encouraging if you have some friends or some colleagues start using openBIM, just let us know, and then we could invite you to share your experience, whether there is benefit or there is a challenge. So we are very open and transparent. So just let us know. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There's another question asked about, I think it's the previous video or thing about the 3D Boolean. Because is that the 3D Boolean is a script operation for analysis?
Yes, I guess you are talking about the 3D Boolean's the function inside the SciPy, the SciPy from Spain, right? Yes, I think this question I need to consult their engineer back, because I guess this kind of a programming language inside the data. So it's similar to like the script operator, as you said, for the analysis. Yes, and they allow open data. For example, if you have some script prescribed inside the API, and then you can connect each other from the IFC model to your add-in function, plug-in using the script. So they are welcome, because it's open, so they welcome different manufacturer or different supplier to write such kind of script to do some, for example, the structure analysis, for example, the like air quality analysis, noise, acoustic, or even the fire, as mentioned in the video. So there's a fire comes up inside the building, so how the people will run out, or the COVID-19, the social distance. Because this is open, so once you have IFC model, then all of this can realize and add it into the platform. It's not limited to native software. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there's another one very practical questions. Yeah. It's about the ownership of the IFC model. This right. Question is about how is the ownership of the BIM model is retained? Is it retained using openBIM?
This is a very difficult question to answer, actually. So because it depends on the project, I think, first of all. So when you start a BIM project, I think the clients and all the parties and the stakeholders need to agree whether it is like an access to move on the BIM model from design to handover to facility management. If everyone agree that the final IFC model is the model that they need to hand over to the client, then I think the client should have the final ownership of the BIM model, right? And during the process, whatever you use native format model or IFC open is no different. It depends on how the clients and the stakeholder agree which version of the BIM model should be treated as belongs to who owns the models. And one thing you can do is in the workflow is that it's the WIP model, you can make use of the IFC, right? And finally, once the model is in the shared or is in the issues condition or published, those are published model inside the IFC free spun version. Then I think that is the ownership and it's a formal record of the project models. Yeah, so it depends on how the project will be collaborated.
Okay, there's another question just come in. Can IFC manipulate string-based data?
String-based, I think you're talking about more into technical things on the type of the data that you acquire. So I think this question can be moved on to the next, the 5th training in the gather 4 speaker, and then we talk about this. Yeah, because I think this depends on how you make use of the data, and I also need you elaborate more what is meant by string-based data. So what scenario you are using. So I think I need to reply you later on this. Sorry about that.
Okay, sure. I will keep this question
yes, please,
to our next class. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So far, I already captured all those questions from the Q&A. Right. I think yes, we finished today's class.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
all.
you all. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you everyone for joining. HK Abema will continue to organize a series of training classes on different topics. The 5th training will be organized on 24th June. The topic is Classes Run Out. There will be panel discussion with 4 class speakers. Please register and enjoy the learning and knowledge sharing activity. If you request for CPT certificate, please scan the QR code before 7:30 today. The ticket number can be found in today's email. So thank you for everyone joining and see you all next time. Thank you.